So in this last video, I'm going to finish up in number 7 and the example number 7 in your notes just through the graphic organizer. And this might kind of be at the end of the last video. But we just got done doing one cycle of the division and we just brought down the 5x. So now we have to ask ourselves, how many times does x go into x squared, or x times what gives you x squared? Well, that's a positive, so up here we're going to put a positive sign, plus sign x. Notice that your x's are aligned. So now we're going to distribute and get x times x, which is x squared. X times a negative 1 is minus x. Remember, you're subtracting this binomial, or you're taking x squared plus 5x minus this binomial. So that's why it says draw the line, change the sign right here, because even though we're subtracting, we have to distribute that negative. And I just like to add like plus sign. That means that becomes negative and that's positive. So now we are going to subtract. These cancel, and a 5x plus x is 6x. Now our last step, we know we're not done because we have this empty spot up here. So we need to bring down this negative 6. And we do it one more time. So ask yourself, how many times is the divisor going to go into 6x minus 6? Well, let's worry about the front terms. X times what is 6x? Well, x times 6 will give you 6x, so let's put a positive 6. 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times a negative 1 is minus 6. Now, I think you can maybe tell right now that when you do 6x minus 6, and you're subtracting the same thing, your remainder is going to be 0. But to be consistent, we have this, our subtraction, draw the line, change your sign, and 6x minus 6x cancel, negative 6 plus 6 cancel, remainder 0. The answer to example 7 is x squared plus x plus 6. Okay? Now I know I went out of order in some classes, so I'm going to go back to your notes, and I just want to make sure. I'm going to do 6 and 8, just to make sure that you have enough kind of shown for you. And then I'm not going to use the graphic organizer, but if you want to, you can. But then all the answers are in the answer key, right above where these videos are, so you should be able to see everything, okay? So number 6 is already set up for us and everything. We don't have any missing terms. We go from an exponent of 2 to 1 to constant. Out here we're fine. So let's get started. So 2a times what? So we're thinking 2a times what, that's a question mark, will give us 6a squared. Well, that would be 3a. So I line them up. Now we multiply. 3a times 2a is 6a squared. 3a times 5 is positive 15a. Now remember, I'm going to draw that line and subtract, but we need to distribute this negative through as subtraction. So that's why I do that to help me. Makes it easier to see. So we have 6a squared minus 6a squared, gone, cancel. A negative 3a plus a negative 15a. Be careful, this is where most students mess up. You get negative 18a. Now we're going to bring down that plus 2, and we do it one more time because we have one more gap up here. So to figure out how many times the divisor goes into this, let's look at 2a. 2a times what will give us negative 18a? Well, 2 times negative 9, so that would be minus 9. And so now I distribute, aka multiply this negative 9 to the divisor. So negative 9 times 2a is negative 18a. Negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. So now we subtract. We're subtracting everything in red, so I distribute this negative. So inside now they're both positive, and that's great because what happens is negative 18a plus positive cancels. 2 plus 45 is 47, and this is our remainder. So your final answer to number 6, make sure you write it out nice and neat, is 3a minus 9 plus our remainder gets always put over your divisor. Okay? All right, I'm going to walk through one more with you in case you're struggling. And then remember, your assignment is that 6 questions on the worksheet using long division to divide polynomials. So in this one, we have to be careful. Now this time, this might be interesting because our divisor is a trinomial. And don't let that scare you. And on the inside, we have x to the 4th. Now normally, we would have a spot in between powers of 4 and powers of 2. So we need a placeholder. So I'm going to put in a 0x to the 3rd plus 2x squared minus x to the 1st. You can't see it, but it's there, plus 5. So notice it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, constant. That's what you want. Now the only difference here is that we have 3 terms. So we need to go 3 terms over. So we're going to ask ourselves, how many times does this trinomial go into this trinomial? Well, it's a shortcut. Look at its front. So x squared times what will give you x to the 4th? Well, that's x squared. So notice we're going to put it above that term. Now we multiply this and distribute that to our divisor. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative x is minus x, minus 1, if you will, x to the 3rd. And x squared times 1 is just positive x squared. So remember, we're now going to subtract. And that means distribute that negative through. So that's negative, positive, negative. Now we can subtract, if you will. So we have x to the 4th minus x to the 4th, gone. Remember that first term's gone, so we can keep moving. 0x to the 3rd plus 1x to the 3rd is 1x to the 3rd. 2x squared minus x squared is just 1x squared. That's round number 1. Now you bring down everything one at a time. So now we have minus x to the 1st, and we do it again. So how many times will this go into this? Well, x squared times x would get you x to the 3rd. So I'm going to put a plus x up here. Notice they're lined up. Now we distribute. X times x squared is x to the 3rd. X times a negative x is minus x squared. X times 1 is x. So we are going to subtract. I just draw my line, change my signs to help me. Oops, I messed up. That was a negative, so this should be a positive. I'm sorry. Now we add, or subtract if you will, x to the 3rd minus x to the 3rd gone. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Negative x minus x is minus 2x. It can get confusing, so you have really clear, make sure your handwriting is clear. Now we bring down the last constant, or the last term, the 5. And one more time. So x squared minus x plus 1 will go into this trinomial 2 times. Now we multiply and get 2x squared. 2 times negative x. And 2 times 1 is 2. So I hope I don't run out of room here. It should be okay. So we're subtracting. So once again, distributing that, and that's negative. That would become positive. And that was a positive 2, so it's negative. So front terms cancel. Negative 2x plus 2x, ooh, that cancels, okay. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. So your final answer to number 8 is x squared plus x plus 2 plus 3 all over your divisor. And there you have it. I know it's tough, but do your best, and it really helps to keep organized. So if you want that graphic organizer, just let me know. It is on Canvas if you have a printer at home, or you could even use Kami. So now you can move on to your homework. Once again, all the answers and work are also shown in the answer key to the notes. All right? Bye.